Hey guys, so in the first video of this unit, I just introduced you to sort of the concept of a polynomial and the definition of a polynomial. This next video, we're going to be looking at how to do operations with polynomials, specifically how to add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. And so for the first few examples here, we're going to focus on adding and subtracting. Adding and subtracting polynomials is actually something you've done before, probably, without realizing it. Because whenever you add and subtract polynomials, all you're really doing is you are adding and subtracting like terms. So really all this is reviewing how to combine like terms. So anytime you are simplifying a polynomial, whether it's adding, subtracting, or even multiplying, which we'll do on the back, one thing you always want to remember to do is to put your final answer in standard form, which again from the last video means that your exponents are decreasing from greatest to least. Okay, so number one, we have 12m squared plus 4 plus the quantity 8m squared plus 5. Anytime you have addition of polynomials, which is what I have right here, the parentheses here are really unnecessary. So I can rewrite this as just 12m squared plus 4 plus 8m squared plus 5. Okay, without any parentheses. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to locate my like terms and combine those. So I have 12m squared and 8m squared. Just a reminder that like terms are those that have the same variable and the same exponent. 12m squared plus 8m squared. When we're adding, we're not going to change the variable or the exponent. Okay, adding terms, we keep the variable and the exponent the same, so we're still going to have an m squared here. We're just going to add the coefficients together. 12 plus 8 is 20. So this becomes 20m squared. And then our other like terms are our constants. We have a positive 4 and a positive 5. 4 plus 5 is 9. Okay, and this polynomial is in standard form. The m squared is the largest exponent. Constant always comes last. So this would be 20m squared plus 9, simplified. Okay, looking at number 2, we have a subtraction problem. We have the quantity 4x squared plus 5x plus 1 minus the quantity 6x squared minus plus x plus 8. For the first part, this trinomial here, we can just rewrite it without the parentheses. 4x squared plus 5x plus 1. But for the second trinomial, we need to remember that there is a negative 1 in front of it. Okay, we're subtracting the whole thing, so we need to think about distributing that negative sign to each of the terms on the inside. So when we write this without parentheses, it's going to become minus 6x squared minus x minus 8. Basically, all the signs inside the parentheses are going to change on each of the terms. So once you've done that, then it's just like number 1. Once you've rewritten it correctly without parentheses, you can just combine your like terms. So I'll start with my largest exponent, which again is my x squared. We have a positive 4x squared right here that we're going to combine with a negative 6x squared right here. 4x squared minus 6x squared is negative 2x squared. Then I'll move down to my x term. We have a positive 5x that we can combine with a negative 1x. 5x minus x is positive 4x. And then finally we have a positive 1 that will combine with our negative 8. 1 minus 8 gives us minus 7. So this polynomial in standard form simplifies to negative 2x squared plus 4x minus 7. Finally, for number 3, I have another subtraction problem. So I'm going to rewrite my first polynomial, 2x cubed plus 4x squared minus 6. Keep it just the way it is. For the second one, I need to distribute this negative 1, which is going to change each of my signs in here. So I get a negative or a minus 5x cubed minus 2x, but this minus 2 becomes a plus 2. Okay, its sign changes down here. Finally, I combine these like terms. My highest exponent is an x cubed, so I'll combine 2x cubed with negative 5x cubed. That gives me negative 3x cubed. Then I have a positive 4x squared that I really can't combine with anything. Okay, over here I have a negative 2x. You can't combine that with 4x squared, so that just means I bring the 4x squared down. Same thing with my minus 2x. There are no like terms that go along with this, so I bring it down as well. And then finally, my negative 6 can be combined with my positive 2 to give me negative 4. So I get negative 3x cubed plus 4x squared minus 2x minus 4 as my simplified polynomial. Okay, so that's adding and subtracting. On the back side here, we're going to take a look at multiplying. When you're multiplying polynomials, which is something we're going to be starting at in this video and also be doing in the next couple of videos, you just need to remember the distributive property. So anytime we're multiplying polynomials, we're going to be using the distributive property to do that. You also need to remember your exponent rules that we did in the last unit. Okay, so for number 4, we have the monomial 4b times the polynomial 5b squared plus b plus 6. So I'm going to be distributing this monomial 4b to each of the terms in my trinomial over here. Starting with 4b times 5b squared, we're going to take 4 times 5, which is 20, and then we'll take b to the first times b squared, which we know from the last unit is b cubed. You add your exponents of 1 and 2 to get a b to the third. I'll do the same thing with my b, my second term here. 4b times b is going to give us a positive 4b squared. And then finally distribute my 4b to my 6. 4b times 6 will give me a 24b. Again, you want to make sure you're in standard form. We're going from exponents of 3 down to 2 down to 1. So this is simplified and in standard form. Number 5, we're going to do the same thing. This time we have the monomial negative 7h times the trinomial 3h squared minus 8h minus 1. So I'll distribute my negative 7h to my 3h squared first. Negative 7 times 3 is negative 21. H times h squared will give me h cubed. Then I'll distribute to my negative 8h. Be careful with your signs. You have a negative times a negative here, so that gives you a positive. 7 times 8 is 56. H times h is h squared. And then finally we have a negative times a negative again, so we get a positive. 7h times 1 is just 7h. Finally, for number 6, we're distributing negative 2g squared to the trinomial 3g cubed plus 6g minus 5. So negative 2g squared times 3g cubed, be careful here. The negative 2 and the 3, the whole numbers, multiply to get negative 6, but the exponents, g squared times g cubed, you add the exponents here. So that gives you negative 6g to the 5th power. Then we're going to distribute to the positive 6g. Negative times a positive is a negative. 2 times 6 is 12, and g squared times g would give us g cubed. Then finally we have a negative times a negative here. This gives us a positive. 2 times 5 is 10, and then we're just going to bring our g squared. Okay, so for the most part, it's basic algebra that you've done before in this video here, just reviewing how to do your exponent properties, your distributive property, combining like terms, but really when you're doing operations with polynomials, it's not a whole lot different than some of the things we've already done in class before. So if you need to review this video, rewind what you'd like to, jot down a few questions to ask me the next time you see me, and until then, have a nice day. You're all wonderful people. Take care.